Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday. I'm your instructor, Pierre Hui, aka Mr. P. The P is for patience. The P is for pass your bar exam. The P is for perseverance. The P is for pass your practical exams. That's what I'm here for. Help you guys pass your Barber Theory. Help you guys pass your Barber Practical. Okay. All right. If you have not been following me, I am an instructor of 10 years. My name is Pierre Hui. And basically, this is what I do on a regular basis. Okay. I have a vested interest in helping people pass their barber exams. And so with that being said, every week, corresponding to the days of the week, I help people. We do public barbering study. Okay. Meaning we go through this book. We study the book. And why do we study the book? Because I know a lot of you by yourselves are not fucking studying this book. So I will be the guy to help you study. If you don't do anything else, join my live study with me. Because like I said, I'm into this. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been in the industry for a long time. I've been a barber of 29 going on 30 years. And I've been an instructor of 9 going on 10 years. All right. With that being said, you can find me all social media platforms at Pierre Hui, Pierrehouey. And I have a paid class which goes into more detail for all of this stuff. We study more pertinent information and things like that. Splashy Phelps. Thank you, sir. Thank you. If that's a sir. If not, thank you, man. Whoever Splashy is, yeah, send me a DM or something. I really appreciate that. But yeah, so you can find me on social media platforms. I do have the link to my paid class, and I will be exploring getting into more paid classes. I'm probably going to break it down even more. So my state is South Carolina, and in South Carolina we have for the Barber Theory 4 domains. All right. So we have scientific concepts 1, haircare services 2, facial hair and skin services 3, and implements, tools, and equipment is 4. They correspond to the amount of percentages that you have for your test. Right now, that takes on a second. I'm a little nervous, but I think I'll be fine. All right. Yeah. Stay on the live for me, man. I got a couple questions for you. But yeah. So in my state, 4 domains. They correspond to the days of the week. So today is Monday. We're doing scientific concepts. And I'm going to upload the CIB. And for those who have not been familiar with my content, I study by the CIB, meaning the CIB stands for the Candidate Information Bulletin. What it does is it gives you a more concentrated idea of what they're looking for. Okay. Now, it's just more of a guideline than just law. Like, all right, we know this is going to be on here. We know that's going to be on here. No, they give you an idea of some of the areas to study. All right. So I always bring this up. I always show it and present it and talk about it. And today being Monday, I'm actually going to go into a little bit more detail today. So typically I keep my classes around 15 minutes because that's the area of attention. But I have been getting requests to just kind of go a little bit longer simply because of us talking and dissecting the CIB. So that's what I'm going to do. Good morning, all my TikTokers. All right. So let's see here. Share screen. Which one am I looking for? Yeah. Okay. There we go. And again, this is for my state, South Carolina. I am looking into other states and other CIBs. So if you are watching from another state, drop me a comment, drop me a message, tell me where you're tuning in from. Tell me if you know anything about your CIB in your state. Okay. All right. Scientific concepts is 35%. 35% of your domain content. Okay. Now, let me say this. Haircare services is a little bit more. It's a higher percentage. It's 40%. But people have the most questions missed out of scientific concepts. All right. Now we're going to go over these points of contact, and then we're going to hyper focus on one of these points of contact. All right. But you got A through E. A is infection control and safety practices. Okay. Number 1, identifying how disease and infection are caused and transmitted. 2, applying principles of infection control, which are sanitation and cleansing, disinfection, sterilization, and contamination and cross-contamination. 3, applying blood exposure procedures. And 4, identifying requirements of government agencies related to public protection, which are the CDC, OSHA, EPA. They got 2 more on there, but we'll go when we do that one again, we'll go over those. B, human anatomy and physiology. Now, this tends to be the one that everybody is the most afraid of, but they don't have as many high percentage questions as you may think that's dealing with anatomy and physiology. They definitely got some, but it's nothing to just be so afraid about that you can't break this down and be prepared for it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You got identifying function and structure of the hair and scalp and skin. 2, identify bones related to the head and face and the neck, shoulders, and upper back. All right. 3, identify muscles and joints and their functions related to the head and face and the neck, shoulders, and upper back. And then 4, understand the functions of the body systems. You got the nervous system, circulatory system, endocrine system, and integumentary system. All right. Part C, identify signs, symptoms of conditions, disorders, and diseases related to the skin, as in types and treatments. D, identify signs and symptoms of conditions, disorders, and diseases related to hair, types, and treatments. So you're dealing with skin, conditions, disorders, and diseases related to skin and hair. You're just breaking them up. All right. And E, basic chemistry of products used in barbering. This is different from basic chemistry. Basic chemistry of the products used in barbering. That goes for understanding the chemical pH scale as a whole. 2, understand purpose and effects of products, ingredients, and their interactions, which ties into number 1 a lot. Number 3, understand interactions among chemicals, like chemical to chemical, right? When we're talking about, say, a redox reaction or something like that, or golly, what they call it, something being oxidation. That's what I was looking for. 4, understand chemical reactions, as in overexposure, chemical burn, inhalation. So basically what they're saying, understanding chemical reactions as it relates to the body and its process, like its reactions to the chemicals. Okay. All right. So those are the 5 points of contact, A, B, C, and E. A, B, C, D, and E, right? Infection control, anatomy, physiology, conditions, disorders related to skin and hair, and basic chemistry. Now, the last thing that we talked about were the part B, 4, understanding the functions of body systems. That's what we talked about last time. We talked about the nervous system, circulatory, endocrine, integumentary. Okay. Rakim, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? Yeah, that's one of my students right there, man. If y'all ain't following Rakim Houston, go follow him right now. He is doing great things in the barbering industry. He passed his test, got his license, and he has been on his way ever since. But let's see. So today we are going to talk about B. We're going to go through part B again, which is human anatomy and physiology. But we're going to do part 1, which is identify function and structure of the hair and scalp and the skin. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back to my mode. Remove. No, take that out. Yeah, there we go. All right. So let's talk about this, y'all. So we want to identify the function and structure of the hair and scalp and the skin. So let's start with the hair. Now, if you go to general anatomy and physiology, the anatomy and physiology of the hair, the function and the structure of the hair is not in general anatomy and physiology. Don't ask me why. I don't know. It don't make any sense to me either. I digress. Now, they talk about general anatomy and physiology for the body, but they don't talk about the scalp, the hair and the scalp. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a little searching, but we're going to go to the glossary and index, and we're going to pull up hair. So under hair, it has analysis of page 266 through 67 and 580 through 581, right? Okay, so we're going to start with 266. All right, so we are going to talk about, so this one says properties and disorders of the hair and scalp, but we're going to talk about the properties. So the properties fall into identifying function and structure of the hair. Okay, that's where we're going to start. So let's do it. You got texture. Hair texture refers to the degree of coarseness or fineness of individual hair strands, which may vary on different parts of the head. Hair texture is measured by the diameter of the hair strand and is classified as coarse, medium, or fine. If you were studying with me previously, this should sound familiar to y'all. We're going to go into more detail than we did last time, okay? All right. Coarse hair got the largest diameter, tends to be stronger than fine hair. It also has a stronger structure, which may require more processing or stronger products during chemical services than medium or fine hair. Generally, it is more difficult for hair lighteners, hair colors, wave-in solutions, and relaxing creams to penetrate coarse hair. All right. Medium hair. You got medium hair texture is the most common. It is the standard to which other hair is compared. Medium hair is the hair texture that is considered normal and does not usually pose any special problems or concerns during a haircut. You know what? I'm going to highlight these because we're going to start doing some quizzes about this. Excuse me one second. All right, so I'm going to highlight that one. Medium hair is the most common. Other hair is good. Yeah, I might make that a test question. All right, fine hair has the smallest diameter and is generally more fragile, easier to process, and more susceptible to damage from chemical services than coarse or medium hair. Some fine or very fine hair does not possess a medulla, which helps to account for the smaller diameter of the strand. And then you have wiry hair. Whether coarse, medium, or fine, has a hard, glassy finish because the cuticle scales lie flat against the hair shaft. It usually takes longer to give this type of hair a chemical service. All right. So coarse hair, largest diameter. Medium hair, most common. Fine hair, smallest diameter. Wiry hair, do it say? It usually takes on. Well, it don't necessarily say it necessarily don't say as far as the diameter, but I would probably put it with fine hair as having the smallest diameter out of the three. But whether wiry hair, whether coarse, medium, or fine, got a hard, glassy finish. Okay, because the cuticle scales lie flat against the hair shaft. All right. So that's texture, but we're gonna define hair by even more factors. Okay. All right, next, well, we'll talk about testing for hair texture. How would you test for hair texture? Here's how. It can be determined by feeling a single strand of dry hair between the fingers. Dry hair between the fingers. Okay. Oh yeah, I'll make some awesome test questions. Yeah, we'll probably do public quizzes. So again, the more pertinent, the more high percentage questions will be in the paid class. But public study, I'm gonna make all kinds of questions out of this shit. All right, hold a strand securely with one hand while rolling it between the thumb and forefinger of the other hand. With practice, you will be able to feel the difference between coarse, medium, and fine hair textures. Okay, that's very, very good skill to have. All right. Next, we got hair density. Hair density refers to the number of individual hair strands per square inch of scalp area and is classified as thick, average, or thin, or as high, medium, or low density. Okay. Hair density different from hair texture in that individuals with the same hair texture can have different densities or different amounts of hair per square inch. For example, one person may have thick, fine hair while another has thin, fine hair. Okay. The average hair density is approximately 2,200 strands per square inch, with the average head containing about 100,000 individual strands. Yeah, I like that fact. That'll be a good test question. The number of hairs on the head varies with the color of the hair. Blondes usually have the highest density and redheads the least density per square inch. Next, we got hair porosity. Hair porosity is the ability of the hair to absorb moisture. The degree of porosity is directly related to the condition of the cuticle layer of the hair, which is the outside layer. Okay. The porosity level of hair can be classified as low, average, and high, or as resistant, normal, and overly porous. Okay? Hair that has moderate or average porosity is considered normal. This hair type presents no special problems, and chemical applications usually process as expected. Hair that is classified as having low porosity is considered resistant. This hair type absorbs the least amount of moisture and may require a more alkaline solution than other hair types. Hair with a high porosity level is considered overly porous and is usually the result of previous overprocessing. Hair in this condition is dry, damaged, fragile, and brittle. Although overly porous hair may absorb liquids quickly, the damage in open cuticle scales may make it difficult for the hair to retain hair coloring pigments or to react favorably to chemical texture services. Reconditioning treatments, the use of low pH products, and strands tests are recommended prior to performing chemical services on hair in this condition. Now, something about that one that we just read, that whole paragraph that we just read, if you notice, some parts of that were chemical in nature. So a lot of that that I just said, that also goes to on the CIB, which we will put it back in here. Add it to the stage, please. That also ties into understanding purpose and effects of products, ingredients, and their interactions. Okay? Notice how that tied into identifying function and structure of the hair and scalp, which we're mainly talking about the hair today. Okay? So let's go back here. Yeah. All right. So again, we talking about testing for hair porosity, which is the ability of the hair to absorb moisture. All right. Porosity of the hair can be checked by holding multiple strands of dry hair. Once again, y'all notice a pattern here. Dry hair. Dry, not wet. The porosity of the hair can be checked by holding multiple strands of dry hair between the fingers while sliding the thumb and forefinger of the other hand down toward the scalp. So basically, you would be holding like this. You would hold the hair strand like this, and then you would do this. And you testing for porosity too. So a lot of times, this is measuring is measuring more than one type of one source of information. You're figuring out multiple things from the hair by doing this same thing right here. Okay. All right. If you can feel a slight toughness or the imbrications of the cuticle scales, the hair is porous. Should the hair break or feel very rough, the hair is probably over porous. All right, so that means it's going to absorb whatever chemical or whatever liquid or whatever product that you're putting in the hair is going to absorb that. So that's not only for when you're doing chemical services, that is also for when you're doing a shampoo. That's also for when you're doing a conditioner. That's also for when you're putting styling products and things like that in your hair. The porosity needs to be considered as well. And a lot of people don't think about that. So if you got somebody that's got very, very, very dry hair, you're going to use more of a styling product. If somebody doesn't have as much, if it is less porous, let's say you got somebody that has thick curly hair, you don't need to be putting all this moisturizer in there. You don't need a lot. These are things that you have to determine, especially as a barber and a stylist. When somebody's sitting in your chair and they asking for styling products and things like that, you need to be just as aware of the density, the texture, the porosity. Okay, next we're going to talk about hair elasticity. Okay, and this is again identifying function and structure of the hair in the scalp. Okay, hair elasticity is the ability of the hair to stretch and return to its original length without breaking, and it is an indication of the strength of the side bonds, bonds, in the hair. All right, the strength of the side bonds. Hair with normal elasticity tends to hold the curl from sets and permanent waves without excessive relaxing of the curl. Hair with low or poor elasticity is brittle and it breaks easy. Hair in this condition may have been overprocessed during previous chemical applications or may be the result of poor nutrition or internal disorders. We're going to come back to that one, all right? Here's how you test for hair elasticity. Gently tug a few strands of clean, wet hair, all right? Hair with normal elasticity will stretch and return to its original length without breaking. Curly or wavy hair may stretch up to 50% of its original length and return to that length without breaking. And hair that breaks easily or fails to return to its normal length has low elasticity. Okay. Again, now let's back up a second. This is really, really important. Hair with low or poor elasticity is brittle and breaks easy. Hair in this condition may have been overprocessed during previous chemical applications or may be the result of poor nutrition or internal disorders. I can't tell you how many clients think 100% that it's always the chemicals, it's always the products, etc., and they never ask about some of the internal signs, which are poor nutrition or internal disorders. Nobody ever talks about that part. You gotta address all of it as a whole. Okay, is there anything that's going on in your body that's affecting your elasticity, your texture, your density, etc., that is just as important, especially people that's on medication. Those medications have all kinds of different effects and not just you losing hair or keeping hair, but the condition of your hair. It will change a lot of that stuff because it'll change your body chemistry. And again, chemistry ain't just products. Chemistry is body chemistry as well. So that's happening inside your body. So the chemistry is happening inside your body. The chemical products are happening outside the body, but it's all chemistry. All right. Let's see. Anything else that I need to go over here? Nope. So today we went over anatomy and physiology, but we are identifying functions and structure of the hair. It says hair and scalp. We'll do the scalp and the skin at another time. But we did talk about structure. We will talk about more structure. Like we'll go into more detail as far as the structure, and we'll identify more of the functions of the hair. Okay, so function and structure are two separate things that we have to study and go into. So you got function and structure of the hair, function, structure of the scalp, and function and structure of the skin. Now, out of those three, the most important one that well, the most pertinent one that you'll see more concentration of questions would be the hair and then the scalp. But technically the scalp and the skin are the same thing, right? So by you studying about the skin, you're studying about the scalp, basically. All right. That being said, that's our time today. If you or anybody that you know can use my services being helping people pass the Barber Theory exam, helping people pass the Barber Practical. I do have paid classes. They are titled appropriately, Pass Barber Theory, Pass Barber Practical. Now, what will be happening in Black Friday? What I'm going to do is break them up according to the domains. So I might call it, I don't know, past scientific concepts, past hair care services, past, but I'm gonna break the domains up into their own classes, which will go into more detail if you need be. They will be on sale, Black Friday sale at a very, very reasonable discounted rate by themselves. And of course, I'll still have the main course, which is Past Barber Theory as a whole. That will remain intact. But again, all this stuff will be available to you Black Friday. And then, of course, I'll do the same thing with the practical. But I just know a lot of students have more trouble with the theory than they do the practical, because a lot of times the practical is a matter of you performing the actions, and there's information that you can access very readily, very easily, that's dealing with the physical practice of doing the practical. But I got pertinent information for that too, because a lot of times it's the subtle things that you're not thinking about. It's a lot of the things that's dealing with the CIB that you may not be aware of, that some of the proctors are looking for, that you're losing points for, and you have no idea you're losing points for some of the little things that you don't even think about. Okay, now you can find me everywhere at Pierre Huey, PIERREHOUEY, all social media platforms. My links are pretty much available as soon as you find me. If not, you can send me a DM. I can send you the link, but the link usually is available. Okay, the link is actually in the description of this video. Okay, for all my YouTubers and Facebookers and all that stuff. For all my TikTokers, it should still be in my bio, but it's easy to find. Okay, it is very easy to find, and it's very easy to find me. With that being said, I'm your instructor, Pierre Huey, aka Mr. P. The P is for patience. Y'all have a great rest of your Monday. We have got it started. All right, peace.